Welcome, friends. We're so excited about tonight. You are going to hear so many incredible stories. You're going to hear about products that have completely changed my world, and even an opportunity that is ground floor and incredible and has completely changed my life. Totally rocked my world. All this stuff. So I'm Alita Allen, and I've been with Plexus for a little over 3 years. And I wanted to just share my story. I want to start off by just kind of telling you guys a story of, I want you to picture a person who's a little bit skeptical, okay, majorly skeptical, somebody who's like, oh no, like I'm not going to ever try those products. I don't want, to take typical weight loss products. I was nervous that they was, full of stimulants and things like that. And I just wasn't quite ready. So for 18 months, I told my sweet friend no. And you're going to meet her tonight because she is an inspiration to thousands and thousands. And we're all on this call sharing tonight because she said yes. So that's kind of a cool concept too. So I told her no for 18 months. She even bought a cow from me at one point. Just, anyway, that's a funny little side note. So I said no, and when I finally said yes, what I found was I researched these products like a crazy person, and it was hilarious because I'm pretty sure Plexus was like, stop calling in, okay? Just know the ingredients, get a list. And I found just sustainable, clean supplements that I knew I could give my family and could help my family. And some supplements we were already taking, but these were better sourced even. So I switched all of our stuff over to these amazing products and lost inches, was sleeping better. I all of a sudden had clear thinking. I had 4 small kids in 5 years. It was crazy. We were homeschooling, and it completely changed my life. And I started to share with my friends because I knew that these products mattered. And you're on here because somebody cares about you and knows that this could change your life too. So I want to introduce Jennifer to you. I'm going to tell you a little bit more of my story later. You guys just buckle up and get ready to be crazy inspired. This is one of my very best friends, this fiery, just gorgeous woman over here, Jennifer Leith from Nashville, Tennessee.
Everybody needs someone to introduce them one time in their life. The best thing ever. So we're going to hear from 8 different women tonight. They're going to share their stories. Some of the stories are about the products, but some of the stories are about growing in confidence or finding their community. What I love about Plexus is that many people set goals. They buy the products. Maybe they have this particular goal. I want to wear this dress this summer, or I want to be able to be healthier. I want to lower my blood pressure. I want to have better cholesterol. Whatever the goal is, usually months into using the products, it becomes a shock and a surprise that the things that they had set their goals for, they achieved them, but so much more, things they didn't expect. And that's what I love about hearing these stories. Now, I want you to know, when we share stories, these are just stories from individual people. These aren't promises to you. These aren't saying this is exactly what will happen to you, because I don't know if you're going to be consistent, and I don't know what your story is, but you will have a story. Just know that we're sharing stories that are personal. We're not making promises. So I'm so excited for you to hear from Carmen. She's going to start us off, and you're going to be super inspired because when I asked her what her word was for her testimony, she said rebirth. And if you picture what that means, I think a lot of us feel like sometimes in our health journey or just our life journey that we've lost ourselves, and to be able to just one day wake up and go, I feel like I'm back. I feel like I've gotten a second chance. There's no greater feeling. So Carmen, go ahead and unmute yourself and share your story.
All right. Thank you, Jennifer and Alita. I'm so excited that I was asked to share tonight, but I feel a little bit like I might throw up. And when you said my word, I didn't know you were going to say that out loud. So thank you. All right. So I thought I would probably start really quickly with what truly was the beginning. When I was growing up, I was fun. I was outgoing. I was the person that was always the life of the party. I wouldn't say I was totally extroverted, but I was always sort of in the mix there. And then life kind of beat me up a little bit. Failing relationship. My father died, who was really my biggest cheerleader. I had a back injury that kind of destroyed me, and all these things compounded on one another. And if I could say that I was living in black, that would be like, it was black. So when I say that, spending days in bed. My partner now, who is so supportive, Derek Flint, my almost husband, he would find me in bed for days. I would see my morning clients and I would go back to bed, and he would find me either crying or closing my eyes, just wanting it to be over. I didn't want to get out of bed. I would get up and do the things I needed to do for my kids. But if I start to cry, it's only because, get emotional. I write this all the time, but I've never spoken this out loud with this many people. So, and then he disclosed to me just in the last several months, I was afraid that I was going to get there and it would be too late. So when I say black, I mean, I had Googled every possible way I could take my own life without someone finding me or my family being destroyed by that. And we were on a family holiday in Hawaii, and I had to use the washroom before we went to the airport, and it was dark. And I had this fleeting moment where I thought, I'll just run. I'm going to run and I'm going to get in the water and no one's ever going to find me. And I didn't. And I truly, I get goosebumps when I say that, because it was in that moment I got home and I was still so black. But one of my best friends was in the same place as I was, and she didn't get out. She actually was successful in taking her own life. And it was me seeing the destruction of her family that let me be open enough to sit on a Zoom call with Derek's friend Cheryl Lambert, and Alita was on. And my anxiety was so bad when I saw Alita's shining face, I was like, I'm leaving. I'm going to hit leave meeting. But I didn't. And when they explained to me, hey, you might sleep again, you might feel better, I was like, I'm not sure. But my wall came down enough in listening to Alita's story that it gave Derek the opportunity to order us a double welcome pack of the triplex. And that was ultimately what completely changed the course of my life. So when we got our products, I was super skeptical. I probably was just as skeptical as Alita, other than I didn't call Plexus. I just Googled all the bad stuff that you could possibly Google. And I was like, what have I got myself into? But within a week, I was sleeping better. Within 2 weeks, I no longer needed sleeping pills. And then all of a sudden, I realized that that fog was lifting off of me. And I was coming out of that horrible, dark place. And it was when friends would see me after a while and they're like, you're back. You're back. And I realized I was back. And it really gave me the opportunity to be myself again. And one of my hashtags is Carmbo's back, because that's what my dad used to call me, was Carmbo. And Carmbo's totally back, and it's the best. So when I say rebirth, it means that I got my life back. And what Jennifer said too was, you don't even really, the goals that you had with these products, you're going to reach those, but then so many crazy things happen. It's just been incredible. So I will say that these products actually, I know it's probably not compliant to say it, but they saved my life. And I could not be more grateful to be part of this community, to be able to share that with people, because if you know someone like me that was where I was, this may help them too. So that's my story.
Okay. Maybe you should have gone last, because that was like, boom! That was so incredible, because first of all, you were super honest, and I appreciate that. And I also feel like there's someone out there that's struggling with that same thing and desperately needs to hear that there is hope and there's an open door. And this isn't just some wacky product line making promises. This is actually science. This is a connection between the brain and your gut health. This is all about really taking care of your body and having results that make you feel better, allow you to have that kind of rich life that she talks about. And I think when I started Plexus, and I can tell you my story later, I was looking for more purpose. Loved homeschooling my 4 kids, loved being a wife, but looking for more purpose. And that's the story you're going to hear now from Heather. Heather is actually one of the top ambassadors in the entire company for the North. And she just absolutely believes in what she's doing. And I'm super excited to hear her story. If you'll unmute yourself, Heather, I'd love to hear your testimony.
Thank you, Jennifer. Yes, I'm super excited to be here. And that introduction is just like, I'm still blown away about that little introduction that you just gave me. I can't believe where I've gotten to in this company. So my story, excuse me, my hair keeps falling on my face. My story is going to be a little bit more about the business and the opportunity. So that's where my testimony is coming from tonight. And I have notes on my phone. So if I'm looking down, it's just because I like to talk and I'm trying to stick to a timeline here. So like Jennifer said, mine is purpose. So when I started with this business, I did not start for myself. I actually started for my husband. And he needed some probiotics, had some gut health stuff going on. And at that same time, I had just left a career of teaching elementary school to stay home with my 9-month-old, my first baby. And I was starting on a new path and had no idea what I was going to do. So here I am, my husband's starting these products. He's feeling great. He's feeling awesome. I started to siphon off of his triplex that he had ordered and started taking them slowly and started to fall in love with the products. And I joined wholesale for the best cost because, like I said, left my job to stay home with my little boy. And what ended up happening is the business kind of fell into my lap. I just started doing it to try to pay for our products, and it just kind of snowballed in a really good way. So, here I am with my kid at home, and he's 9 months old. We get to his first birthday, and I just had like the worst time of my life. My grandmother passed away. She was my rock. She was so much of a solid person in my life that when she left me, I had this huge deep hole and I had no idea. And looking back on it now, I obviously went through a lot of depression, but being a mom and going through the motions, you just kind of pick yourself up and go and you don't realize it. So here I am doing all this stuff, and I kind of lost myself a little bit and then found myself again with this company. So I immersed myself and I just kept going. And what it ended up taking me is I was contributing to my family more. I wasn't feeling like, okay, I'm not giving any financial help to my husband or our family. I'm able to now do this with this business. And it was also giving me a purpose. I started meeting new people. My network started to explode. So I had this teaching career where I met all my teaching friends, but when they were teaching, they weren't available for me to go have play dates when I'm home. So I started to meet new moms. I started to get out into the community, and my network started opening. So I started to feel like there was something more for me. And as I was doing Plexus and I was working the business, on social media, I ended up having a lot of people ask me, what do you do? And I just shared from my heart and shared how it helped us. And I ended up losing all the baby weight. Yes, I still carried it at 9 months. I still had a lot of it left over. And my husband was seeing such phenomenal health benefits that, people were asking as well. Let me look at my notes over here. So as I started to grow this business, helping family and friends, just customers, my team started to get growing. And then what ended up happening is I was meeting all these amazing women who had like-minded visions of what this opportunity could do for them. And it was just amazing. I'm still in awe of my amazing team. These women inspire me every single day. As I've grown with this business, I have been able to use it to jumpstart into other work. Previous to being a teacher, was an interior designer. I had gone back for my master's. So yes, I have 2 degrees that I am staying at home with right now, but I'm able to use them both right now. So I took my design business and expanded it into events and used that to expand my network for Plexus. And I've met so many amazing women who do jobs just like we do with social media and network marketing. I have come into tons of different ways that I have been able to give back to my community, to charities, to bless other people in my life because of the financial opportunities that Plexus has given to me. I would have never been able to do that where I was before. And if it wasn't for this opportunity, I would never have been able to be where I am right now. And the purpose that this job has of being at home and being a social network marketing media network marketer, I can't even get the words out. What it's done for me is it has opened up even more opportunities for me just because people recognize me for what I do for Plexus. I've been getting recommendations for other types of work in the design business. I just got offered a position at a college to teach as a professor. And everybody has said to me, well, we see you all the time on social media. We see what you do with your job and you're amazing at it. And we would love for you to come be a part of our world too. It's just the opportunities are endless. I every day work my business just like everyone else on this, in our Plexus family world. And it's just been amazing. I have gotten so much purpose from this job, not just helping everybody on a day-to-day basis with their health and wellness, but just the other aspects that it's brought into this with the people that it's brought into my life. It's just been amazing. I can't say enough about it.
Okay, you proudly said, I'm a social marketer. Could you have said that when you first started with Plexus?
No. So that was a really hard thing for me to switch to. Would say, so I sell health and wellness products and then they were like, you sell them? And I'm like, well, I share about them. And then it's kind of gone different. Like I've changed and morphed. I've been with Plexus almost 4 years now. So it's been a big journey of where I've started from to where I've ended at, or where I'm currently at, because I'm not ending, but it's different. It's awesome. I love what we do.
All right, that was amazing, because I think we're all looking for a little bit of margin in our life. A lot of us are at home with our kids. If you're a woman on this and you're thinking, I want to make extra money, but I don't want to leave my kids, this is something for you to consider, because if you fall in love with the products, and I mention that because you really cannot do this if you don't believe in these products and what they do for people. Once you do and you start to begin to share with friends and family, the fulfillment of seeing people that have health struggles that are messaging you saying, I really do feel better. That is the best feeling ever. So what are these products? What is everyone talking about? What are they taking? Is this a diet? Is this going to be hard? Okay. First of all, I want to tell you, we've got Canadian ambassadors and American ambassadors on this call. And there are a little bit of slight variations to what Plexus offers in each place, but get with the person that invited you and they'll explain to you exactly what you need. But I'm going to tell you the anchor product, the thing that really made Plexus a household name, is the Plexus Slim. Now, you hear the name Plexus Slim and you might immediately start thinking weight loss, fake diets, crash dieting, and I don't want you to look at it like that. Instead, I want you to think about a stick packet that you add to water, okay? And this stick packet is going to help balance your blood sugars. It's going to detox you. It has great antioxidants. It's non-GMO. It's gluten-free. It tastes great. It's super easy to fit into your routine. And what it's going to do is, as your body is balanced, your body will slowly begin to let go of the weight. Your body will actually respond in ways that you can't imagine. We have people talking about struggling with so many health issues that they're on prescription medication for, and they're looking for a natural alternative. So when you drink the Plexus Slim, what you're going to find is that you have a natural energy. There's no caffeine in it. There's no food dye. Alita messaged me along the way and she goes, why is that thing pink? Is there food dye? And I said, beet powder. We really are the natural product for the masses. Super easy to fit into your routine. We also have a great line of probiotics. We have ones that are specific for mood. We have ones that are specific for killing yeast in your intestinal tract. If you don't know what yeast does to your intestines and then in turn to your body, you have got to go Google that. Don't look at the images because you'll never sleep again. But this is what your body is struggling with. And this is what Plexus is addressing. We have magnesium products. And if you know anything about magnesium, it helps you rest. It helps you feel calm. It also draws water into the colon, pulls all the toxic stuff out. These are the products that we're offering. We've got amazing skincare that's clean. It has prebiotic fibers that feed bacteria on your skin. We have natural anti-inflammatories. No more popping Tylenol or ibuprofen. We have everything that you probably see in your medicine cabinet right now, but you're not using. Because why? You're not feeling a difference. Once you start using Plexus products, you start to feel the difference. You become more consistent. And the best part about Plexus to me is people try it without risk, knowing that they have a 60-day, no questions asked, money back guarantee. And I also feel like when I go to the grocery store, I'm always scoping things out. I look at the probiotic aisle. They cost the same as Plexus probiotic, but I know they don't work. They don't have antifungals, and they don't have a money-back guarantee. I'm passionately telling you this because I've been using the products for 5 years. I lost 45 pounds. I feel amazing. I'm 40 years old. I totally look like I'm 18. Go ahead, throw that in the chat right there. I want to hear all about how I look 18 years old. And I'm excited about it. So I'm pleased to share with everybody. And this is something that I'll be doing for the rest of my life. And our products are so good that will continue to change lives and continue to expand worldwide. I'm going to have you hear from somebody that has the kind of testimony that might be unusual. It might actually be shocking to you, but it is so special that I just couldn't help but share it with you. And it's from my friend Ashley, and it's about growing her family because of Plexus. So Ashley, if you wouldn't mind unmuting yourself, I'd love for you to share your story.
Am I unmuted? Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for letting me have the opportunity to hop on here tonight. Like Jennifer said, my story is a little bit different. And it's kind of like the other stories that you've heard, but another aspect that I was very blessed by Plexus with. So when I started Plexus back in May of 2015, my friend Jennifer, and she had talked to me about it, and I finally went on one of her posts and won a challenge. And I won a sample, and literally when she gave it to me, y'all, it was like in January when she gave it to me, and it sat in my cabinet for probably, I think, until probably May. And I finally, once I took it, I loved it, and I was like, okay, I'm going to finally do this. So I joined at wholesale, and I did that to get the cheapest prices. And so initially I wanted to lose weight. So when I joined, I started feeling better, feeling amazing. And then I lost about probably 15 pounds. My husband started doing it with me. We got our guts in very great health because we were so unhealthy to begin with. And so we were trying to get pregnant. We had been married. We got married in 2012, and we're trying to get pregnant. It took us a while. We got pregnant, had a miscarriage. That wasn't my first miscarriage. And I know some of you went through that, and it's hard, but it's tough. But so we had that miscarriage, the second one, and I started Plexus, and then 4 months later, after starting Plexus and getting my gut healthy, getting his gut healthy, I got some good news. But let me back up before that, because before that, when I found out, or we were trying to get pregnant, after the miscarriage, I was on the products for 4 months, and we had already been to see Nashville Fertility, and we thought we were going to have to take some different steps to try to get pregnant because nothing was working. And so we had already been to Nashville Fertility one time, and both of us had been tested, trying to figure out what was going on. And they said, everything should be fine. You should be good. And then, like I said, 4 months later, on a Friday, I had made an appointment, was supposed to go that Monday and do the next step to get the things going to try to get pregnant. And on that Friday, I found out I was pregnant. And so, sorry if I start crying, but I'm going to say Plexus is truly a blessing. It has blessed us in more ways than I can imagine. So now we have a healthy, happy 2.5-year-old who is a little rotten mess, but Plexus has truly been a blessing to us and our family. It's helped, like I said, us to get healthy, have a baby. He's had, seasonal, when the season changes, he starts sneezing and all that stuff, sinus infections, and he has stayed, gosh, I can't tell you the last time he's been sick. And my 2.5-year-old, he's even taken our kids' X Factor vitamins, and he's hardly ever sick as well. So just to throw those in there, but I truly think with getting your gut healthy, it can really change your life in so many ways. And we've been truly, truly blessed by Plexus. So if you're thinking about it, don't hesitate. I was a skeptic too, but it's truly life-changing. So thanks for letting me share.
He totally cried.
I know.
I was looking at the other people, and I'll tell you, if you're wondering, how did that happen? Tell me the connection. When insulin, your master hormone, when that is balanced, which is what the Slim will do, suddenly all of your other hormones, your estrogen, your progesterone, your testosterone, everything also begins to be in balance. And that really does help with that fertility issue. So we have a long running joke in Plexus that people have Plexus babies. Maybe if you're one of those people, because I know a lot of you have a Plexus baby, you can throw that in the chat as well. Thank you, Ashley, for sharing. And I'm excited about hearing from Teresa next. Last time we did this, we had a sweet girl share about her having a liver transplant and just really what the products have done for her. And she told me that she wanted me to hear her friend Teresa's story. So I've been thrilled to be able to ask her on. I don't even know her story yet. So Teresa, if you'll unmute, I can't wait to hear.
Can everybody hear me? Okay, so yes, Elena, she is my upline. We knew each other, our families knew each other because every Italian knows every Italian. And I kept seeing her post on Facebook, and she kept posting about these wonderful products she's taking and how great she's feeling. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. I know a little bit of her history, and how is she taking these products with her history? So I had reached out to her. She had, we had seen each other at other parties prior to Plexus. And she started filling me in on what the products are. And till the day I die, I will apologize to Elena with all my heart, because I think I bothered her for about 4 months. I kept asking her questions, and then I would pull back, and I would ask her questions and I would pull back. And then, my main issue was I was just always tired. And I just figured, well, you know what? I don't really, I'm always with the kids. I became a stay-at-home mom once, once we had my first child. And I just figured I'd just chalk it up to motherhood. I have to take care of everything because my husband, he works. He's a CPA, and tax season, he's never home. And I just had to take care of it all. And I kept chalking it up to that. And then one day I remember I came home from running errands, 1,000 errands that day. I pull in my garage, and my habit is I pull in my garage, turn off the car and shut the garage door, and then get out and go into the house. And for some reason, I pull in the garage, my phone dings, and I go to check it, because you never know if it's the school or somebody calling, for the kids. And the last thing I remember is I'm slumped over the steering wheel. I had fallen asleep. The garage door was closed. Thankfully, at some point, I had turned off the car. And I didn't wake up until I hear my mother running, because she happened to come over. She actually came, and everybody uses my garage door. Nobody uses my front door. The front door is just for show. And she had actually walked by me, didn't even know I was in the car. And she's in the house. And I hear her at this point running around the house, because she knew there was something wrong with me, but we couldn't figure out what was going on. And she can't find me, and I hear door slamming, and that woke me up. And I literally, before I sat up, I opened my eyes, and I'm staring at my steering wheel. And it was at that moment I said, Elena, I have to do this. And so I started taking the products, and I'm not gonna lie, I was not consistent. Monday through Friday, I was doing great. The weekend came along, and you're running around with the kids, you're doing this, you're like, I'll take care of it later. And I wasn't getting the results I wanted. And then it clicked. I have to be consistent. I became consistent. I was taking my products. I was starting to feel great. And then everything else started to click. The depression. Oh my God. I wasn't just tired. I was depressed. I realized I was hiding from my family for so much. And, we hear so many stories that women struggle to become mothers. And we're one of those stories. We had a couple miscarriages before my son. And then, we had my son, and then we had my daughter, and we had to go through the process of having my son. And I'm sitting here thinking, I don't have the energy to keep up with my kids, but I wanted these children for so long. And what kind of a mother am I? So I would actually, rather than make a bigger effort to be with my kids, I would run and hide. Every chance I got, I would run and hide. My kids, my husband, when he's home, he's so hands-on. God bless him. He's there with the kids 100%. He would take over for me. I had migraines, 14, 15 migraines a month. And that started taking a toll on our marriage, because my husband was getting frustrated. And at one point he actually said, I think you bring these on yourself. And I said, nobody will bring on a migraine. Nobody wants a migraine. Because for me, I can't see out of my right side. Basically, everything slumps on this side. I said, it's not. I don't bring these on. So we were having a tough time, because I was struggling with these migraines. But again, once I became consistent, and everything started to fall into place, and I started to feel great. And then my husband sees that. I remember getting ready for bed one night, and we were talking, and I was having this conversation with him, and I was excited. And my husband just looks at me, and he says to me, oh my God, she's back. She is back. And I looked at him, and I went, oh my God, I'm back. And it was like, at that moment, I'm like, you know what? I don't care if the business aspect of it is great. It's fun, especially when I went from working, I was in an accountant as well, and I was contributing to the household. I was bringing home a paycheck, and then we had kids, and I became that stay-at-home mom, where my husband never really said, don't spend money. And dear God, my poor husband, God bless him, because if I don't go to Home Goods once a week, it's a snowstorm here. But he never said, don't spend the money, but I also always felt guilty. And now, yes, I'm making some, money from my little side gig. But for me, my goal is, if I hear somebody talking and they're struggling with anything, I'm like, hey, I have to talk to you about this. You don't know me, but I need to talk to you because I was where you are right now. I was at a bridal expo today, and I think I spoke to more moms, more of the mother of the bride than the brides, because they're tasting cake, they're looking at the florists. I had mothers, and I'm talking to mothers all day today, and a lot of them are struggling with the same issues that I struggled with. So my goal is, I want everybody to live and love their life the way I am now. I mean, there are things I'm doing now that I would do when I was younger. And because I had hit that wall with my kids and just life in general and not feeling well because I didn't know everything came from your gut, I want everybody to get to this point. And again, I don't care if I never make a dime. I just want people to be here where I am today. So that's my story.
When your motive is you want someone to feel as good as you feel, well, first of all, you are going to make a dime, because that is what drives us forward. We have absolutely grown grassroots, word of mouth, and stories like yours, Teresa, about just realizing one day that you feel like you're back, that you had lost yourself. I mean, we talked about that in the beginning. Gosh, I mean, you are seriously beautiful too. There's that too. That doesn't hurt. Thank you so much. I absolutely love that.
Thank you.
I saw so many tears, and people that could relate to that struggle. And also about the consistency. It's not always easy to be consistent, but once you make that choice, you really will start to see some incredible results. And when we talk about energy and being a mom, Jessica Cessna is going to share her story. She's got 2 young babies. She's been with Plexus for a good long while, but she's had so much success with helping other people to feel better. And I can't wait for her to share with you her story. Jessica, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Thank you, Jen. I appreciate it. Hey, everyone. I'm Jess, and I've been with Plexus a little over 4 years now. And just like Jen said, I have 2 little babies. I have a almost 9-month-old and almost 3-year-old. So my story actually started before I had my babies. I was working 2 jobs, and we had just bought our first house, and we were just getting started. So it was kind of scary, but working 2 jobs, I was literally working at a dealership throughout the day, like the normal 9 to 5. And then I would literally change in the parking lot at my first job, and I would go to my second job, and I would stay there till about 9 o'clock at night. And, my hours, it varied between 30 to over 40 hours a week, every week. And it was nice. And so before Plexus, this is what got me started. And my testimony is more of a business testimony. I was with another company before Plexus, and I was with them for 4 years, and I did the parties. I did the inventory. I did where I had to spend $300 to $500 a month. And I was spending more money and more time and putting more effort than I was getting money out of it. I wasn't having any more fun. And that was the whole reason why I had started it. And I was with the company, and I kept staying with the company because I thought there was going to be more. I kept wishing for more, and I thought, this is going to be it. Next month I'm going to do this. And they had so many quotas. And if you didn't hit those quotas, you lost all the hard work that you put into it. So it put a really bad taste in my mouth, and especially my husband. We were really young, and that was something I had a lot of hope for. So I said, no more, never again, never doing this again. Well, fast forward, I was in my office in our new house, literally hadn't paid the first mortgage payment, and I was on Facebook, and my friend Heather Russellton, she posted this thing on Facebook, this pink drink thing, and I was like, well, that's silly, what is that? So I messaged her, and I was going to the gym trying to get healthier, And I just wanted to try it. So I bought a trial. The second day, when I passed up brownies, I was sold. That never, ever happens. And I was like, okay, well, if I'm going to do this, I can't tell my husband. So I need to get it for the best discount. So I bought in wholesale. And I said, well, I'm never working the business, but let me check out this compensation plan. So I did my own research, intentionally looked for the bad in Plexus, and I couldn't find it. So I called Heather one night at my second job. I was on the phone with her for probably 45 minutes. And I said, all right, I'm doing this. I'm going all in. And I remember that night, I haven't looked back. I went silver within 3 weeks. And actually, when I was able to hit the next rank of gold, I left my second job, the night job. And then I was able to realize, like, we can start a family, because I refused to have a family and work 2 jobs. So we got pregnant with my first son, and exactly 1 year of starting Plexus. And about when I was 30 weeks pregnant with my first son, I was able to leave the first job. So I was working completely from home. I didn't have to go anywhere. And it was a blessing. And it was seriously incredible, because I was, like the week after I left both of my jobs, I was put on bed rest, and I worked my butt off with my business, and I was able to rank, and then I had my son. So it was incredible, the best opportunity ever. And I remember having gut feeling whenever I was about to click join with Plexus. I just had this gut feeling that said, go for it. And I'm so glad I did. And I know network marketing does get a bad rep, and other companies can put that bad taste in your mouth, but this is totally, totally different. And I wish people would understand that. So whoever invited you here tonight, I hope they explain that to you and how we are different. This is an incredible opportunity, and it really has changed everything for me. Thanks for listening, guys.
Gosh, you're good. You know, when you're talking about that, and I don't know your background, but I think what's so beautiful is this is a level playing field. You don't even have to have a high school diploma. Like, you don't have to have a college degree. You don't have to know about business. This is something that absolutely anyone can do. We're not going to just make you reach all those high quotas you talked about. I think it's a perfect time to talk about the opportunity. And I'm going to ask Alita to unmute herself and share what exactly is the Plexus opportunity and what it's done for her life.
Oh my gosh, I'm like all up in tears over here listening to all these incredible life-changing stories. And it just never, ever gets old, right? I mean, we've done these so many times, and I can tell you, never, ever gets old. So what this opportunity has done for me is something I never imagined. When I signed up for the products after telling Jen no for so long, I really just thought, I'm going to get my products covered, because I had never allowed myself to really dream very big. So I thought, I'm going to get my products covered because I want my kids on it. You know, I had all these dreams and visions of putting my family on it, but nothing past that. And then as Jennifer, I was watching her drive around in a Lexus and, you know, moving up in getting a bigger house and really just seeing it just incredibly bless her family. I thought, well, maybe I could make $1,000 a month to pay my mortgage. And I want to share this because I feel like there's somebody on here or somebody who's going to watch this at one point that thinks that is life-changing income, just to have an extra $500 a month, just to have an extra $1,000 a month, that could truly change the atmosphere of your family, that could take stress out of the home, that could pay the bills that go unnoticed, that could put money into that emergency fund, or a bonus, take you on a vacation. That was as big as I allowed myself to dream. And when I hit that mark within a few months of really sharing Plexus, I started sharing with a passion for these products because they completely had just altered and changed my mood. So my kids loved me more because I was nicer, and I was just feeling better. And so I started sharing with passion and authenticity. I didn't wait to have this crazy huge testimony. I was just sharing authentically. This is what I'm noticing. This is what I'm hearing is happening to my friends. It's changing my world. You've got to try this. And so we have the 60-day money back guarantee. I felt so confident to share products that a company was willing to back like that just blew my mind. I'm like, what? That's crazy. And then you'd hear that they only had a 1% return rate. So it was like, okay, well, people aren't going to be consistent. You know, you started to see that there was a pattern here, that these products were working, and I could trust that and just be authentic in my sharing. And so I had never done network marketing before. And my husband gave me some kind of speech, because I told Jennifer, I said, I'm never going to, you know, share on Facebook and be that girl. And I just want to talk to you for 1 second about that fear of being that girl, of being that person, of being that dude, whatever. Is that I can't even remember the whole speech, but it was something about fish in the sea, and you gotta share this, you gotta share how it's helping you. Like, who are you to hold this secret? And so I did, and that kind of started my whole journey and kind of really started exploding my business. And what I didn't know was that, number one, my dreams would become limitless. Plexus has been a vehicle for me to take me to new heights in other areas of my life, not just in business, not just in finances, but in confidence, in sharing and empowering other people around me and saying, if I can do this, you can do this too. And so when I was about a year and a bit into my Plexus journey, my husband suddenly passed away. I was widowed with 4 little kids. And 3 months after that, I hit the rank of Emerald, which is just such a huge gift. It's a 6-figure income. They give you a Lexus car, and they give you a trip to Hawaii. So here I am, suddenly a solo mom, single mom of 4 kids, widowed, no life insurance, and I'm making a 6-figure income. They're flying me to Hawaii, and they give me a Lexus car. I mean, just imagine I just felt like, seriously, I always say, I felt like a widow baller up in there, driving my car with my 4 kids in the back, granola bar wrappers are flying everywhere. It's hilarious. And I tell that story because it's so true. And I never knew when I was signing on to share these supplements just how far it would take me and just how far it would grow me. And I love one of my favorite parts is that there's no inventory. There's no, you can do this married, single, organized, disorganized. You can do this as a mom. You can do this as a hot, sexy single person. You can do this no matter where you're at. It's like Plexus comes and meets you where you're at. My first event, I did not talk. I did not speak. I pressed play on a video because I was terrified, but I just did it. I thought, what if this changes everything, changes the trajectory? And at that time, that was $1,000 a month. And now, I mean, when you get to a certain rank with Emerald, Sapphire, and Diamond, you're making more than women in the White House. I have no college degree. I'm a high school graduate and a musician. So my husband would joke, he'd be like, y'all cost money. So, I mean, we're not making any money. And here I was, a stay-at-home mom. It gave me a purpose. It gave me a plan, and it gave me something to really just broaden my horizons and build my confidence and bring in a community of people that literally my conversations all day long are about how we're building one another up. What can I do to build you up? So it's just been such a gift. So no inventory. They ship it to people's houses. You're not treasuring around out in the snow somewhere, handing off products. So truly, truly incredible.
Perfect. I mean, first of all, the story alone, that's so inspiring because you never know what tomorrow holds, right? And so many of us just, when the unexpected happens, we would not be okay. We wouldn't have the savings. We wouldn't have the plan. And so sometimes we call Plexus our plan B. So you can be doing this on the side alongside your full-time job and really just supplementing your income. And you can really make whatever you want of this. With Plexus, you can cover the cost of your products easily, or you can have those big goals like the $1,000 a month mortgage payment. But the opportunity is truly real, but it's driven by incredible products that have been just tested over and over and over again and proven to really change people's bodies. One of the people that's going to share right now, Katie, she's got an incredible testimony, and it did not come without struggle and without health worries. And a lot of people come to Plexus with autoimmune disorders and different struggles in that arena, and they're looking for something to support their body. Now, again, I can't tell you that this is going to fix that. I can't tell you that this is the perfect cure, because we don't do that with Plexus. We're just about supporting bodies. We don't fix things. We don't make somebody cured. But what I do know is that people that struggle with their health are finding themselves again. And that's what Katie Cessna's been through. So Katie, if you'll unmute, I can't wait to hear your story.
Hi, friends. So my story was, as my sister spoke before me, she introduced me to Plexus. At first, I was extremely hesitant, resistant, wasn't sure what to think about it. It was something way out of the norm for me. I started having a lot of cardiac issues, irregular heartbeats, tachycardic, and that turned into like a lot of nausea, vomiting. And I was actually admitted to the hospital, directly admitted to the hospital for my cardiologist at 21 years old, just a few days after my birthday. And that was followed after 7 emergency room visits where they just couldn't figure out what was going on. And still after I left the intensive cardiac unit, they still didn't have answers. They did my blood work and there was 37 abnormal lab values that they just couldn't place. So that led to more doctors. So I ended up going to another cardiologist and he referred me to a rheumatologist. So it was doctor after doctor after doctor with still no answers. And I was just, at that point, I was a guinea pig. I was a lab experiment. And they were just like, oh, take this pill. Maybe this will help. And try this instead. And nobody had answers. Finally, when they referred me to the rheumatologist, I was diagnosed with lupus, which is a full body autoimmune disease. And primarily for me, it was attacking my heart, my kidneys, and my liver. At one point, I was in stage 2 kidney failure. And then I also had cardiomyopathy, I had Sjogren's, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and I was also diagnosed with Raynaud's. After being put on 13 different medications with a long-standing dose of 40 milligrams of steroids 2 times a day, the symptoms still weren't under control. They got worse. There was days where I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't walk across my living room without being completely depleted and just out of breath. They then added IV infusions on top of everything else, thinking, why not add to the cocktail? So at this point, I was 21 years old. I blew up like a balloon. I just looked like if you took a pin, I would just pop. I was red. I was swollen. I was losing all of my hair. I just couldn't get out of bed, couldn't take a shower. At one point, I just couldn't even get my arms above my head to even wash my hair. My sister was preaching to me the products, preaching uncontrollably. I know what'll help you. I know what'll help you. It's not a Band-Aid. It's an actual, it's not a cure, but it's something that'll fix you. Just trust her. And look, she's bawling her eyes out now. I'm sitting here watching her bawl her eyes out. She can't help it. So I gave in. And I started with the triplex. And within 3 months, I was off of all my medications. I was only on 2 medications left, which were my anxiety medications. I had developed severe anxiety and depression from being in the hospital, from not knowing what to do next, from thinking I was going to die at 21 years old. Doctors didn't have answers, and then it came to the point where I just stopped going to my doctors. These products were helping me so much that I avoided my doctors at all costs because I was a lab experiment to them. I wasn't a person. I didn't matter to them. So then wholeheartedly came out. And this is my all-time favorite product because it got rid of my anxiety. It got rid of my depression. wholeheartedly, and I take it 2 times a day just because I love it so much. This was the product for me that set me over the edge, and I was just like, anything you want, I'm going to do it. I back Plexus 110% now because that was the product for me that set me over the moon. And then I recently went back to my doctor because I was like, let me just do a yearly checkup. Went back to my doctor, and she had told me straight from the get-go, you're not on medications. I can already probably tell that you're in kidney failure. And she was just negative from the get-go. She wanted all these lab work and everything else, and the lab work came back perfect. Nothing was out of range. All 37 were back in total normal. I haven't been on medications in over a year, and she just couldn't believe it. So this has definitely changed my life. And considering I'm a full-time nursing student and I work casually at the hospital and I'm able to do this on top of it, shows that it has helped me tremendously, because there was days I couldn't even get out of bed. So thank you guys.
Oh my gosh. Like, if that doesn't make you feel this obligation to go out and really share, I don't know what would. You are a brave woman. You are a strong woman. Everything that you shared would break anyone. And the fact that you're using your story to help other people is really beautiful. I'm so glad that you shared tonight. And I think that was absolutely a God thing, for sure. That was incredible. And I think all of us know someone that's struggling with their health. And what if what you said to them could be the answer? Gosh, that was so good. Now, we're going to transfer over to talk about having hope and really seeing that the end of the road, that light at the end of the tunnel. And that's what Katie Ciccarelli is going to share tonight. And I'm super excited for you to hear from her. If you'll go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, Jennifer. Thank you so much for having me tonight. So I'm Katie Ciccarelli, and I know we just heard from another Katie with an autoimmune disease. So this is kind of like round two. I was 28 years old 2 Christmases ago, and I woke up literally the day after Christmas, and my left ankle was swollen and just hurt really badly. So my husband took me to the ER, and the doctor just gave me an antibiotic and some steroids and said, you have some sort of infection. We don't know what's going on. Try that. It should take care of it. So I took the medicine and I took all the steroids, and like the next day, everything felt fine. And I thought, okay, we're good. We're better. So a week later, my steroid taper ran out, and everything came back. Only this time it was both ankles, and my neck was hurting, and all my joints on my arms and my hands. So this was the day after New Year's. And so again, we were in a new hospital. We tried a different hospital in an actual different state this time. And same thing, they didn't know what was going on. They told me I had plantar fasciitis, or they just didn't know what was going on. And finally, so I took more steroids, another round of antibiotics, and third week in a row, I ended up back in an emergency room. And this time I was having night sweats and fevers, and my feet and my arms were just, especially my feet and my legs, just swelled up like crazy. They're kind of unbelievable if you see the pictures of them. So when we got to the hospital, the doctor thought I had been in a car accident or beat up because they looked so bad. And so we told them we were scared maybe I had a blood clot or something. And so they rushed me right into the emergency room, and that is when I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. So I was sent to a specialist, but I was put on a waiting list, and it took weeks and weeks. In the meantime, they just kept throwing steroids at me, trying to help it, and then it would help it, and then it would go away, and then I would stop the medicine, and then it would come back worse. My younger brother passed away from cancer a couple years ago, and so that was kind of in the back of my mind. They were testing me, they were trying to figure out things, and I was like, is this maybe something like that? And it was just a really scary, hopeless time. Like nothing was doing anything for me. Like the medicine was just band-aiding everything. And I had 3 children, and they were all, at the time they were a baby. She is 5 months old, and a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old. My children are 3 years apart. And my body, I've been through 3 C-sections, emergency, high-risk pregnancies. And so my body was very full of just a lot of medications. I had a lot of antibiotics. I had steroid treatments for my son because he was so early. And I think a lot of that just built up a really, really toxic cocktail inside of me. And that's what kind of triggered all of my autoimmune issues. I would have told anybody that I saw that I was a completely healthy mom. I was only 28. I was, actually, I think I was 27. I can't remember, right before my birthday. So I was young, and I thought, I've got this. I'm not, I'm pretty healthy, but obviously inside I was not healthy, and I struggled with UTIs and things like that all the time. So anyway, so we finally got to see the specialist, and he took a look at me, did a bunch more blood work, and said, yes, it's an autoimmune disease. It should clear up, within the next week. You've had it for like 4 to 6 weeks, so it should be gone. But it didn't go away. And so weeks and weeks later, I went back and he said, you know what, Katie, I think your case is going to be chronic. So I made a prescription for you. This is a lifelong medication you're going to be put on, and it's not nursing friendly. So your 6-month-old baby at this time is going to have to find, something alternative. And I was very into the benefits of breastfeeding, and I love the bond with my babies. And it was extremely, extremely sad and just difficult, and it was just very hopeless feeling. And we had people praying for us all over social media. My husband is an evangelist, so we traveled and we speak out and we minister that way, and we had to cancel all of our meetings and we had to just stay home. He had to carry me from our bedroom to our the living room, and I would just sit there. And both of our mothers traveled in from California and Indiana down to Gulf Shores to take care of me. And it was just a really crazy, uncertain, hopeless time. I mean, we had hope in Christ that he was going to take care of it. But for us, we didn't know what to do. We were just kind of like, what do? We don't know. And we were kind of at the mercy of what everybody else thought we should do. But finally, my friend Joanna Miller, she had reached out to me before about Plexus. And I kind of just brushed her off. And, I'm healthy. I don't really need that. Those are for people who are sick. But finally, she reached out to me and she said, Katie, a lot of them autoimmune diseases stem from an unhealthy gut. And if you've had antibiotics in the last year, which I've had tons in the last 3 years, all combined, she's like, that could be really, causing a lot of your issues. Why don't you just try it? There's a 60-day money back guarantee. I highly recommend our Triplex, which is the Slim, BioCleanse, and probiotic, and then our product Ease, which is for inflammation, joint pain, and that sort of thing. And she said, you really don't have anything to lose. You can just try it, and then, if it doesn't work, you can go on the medication, but at least you tried, And at this point, we had tried supplements from our Health Hut and Mobile. We had tried intravenous vitamin C and a bunch of other therapies, natural, and nothing had, actually those had enhanced and kind of made it worse. It just kind of wasn't what my body needed. So we were very skeptical. My husband especially was just like, I don't think it's going to work. It's just one of those other things that, everybody buys into. So we bought it, we did purchase it, and we just knew that as long as we could get our money back, if it didn't work, then we will at least try it. So my Triplex arrived, and I instantly started taking that along with a loading dose of Ease, which is about 6 to 8 a day. And you guys, it was incredible. Like, it was truly, for me, it was life-changing. And my like, when my tapers would run out of my steroids, it took about 3 to 4 days, and then my feet would just balloon back up. And I had been off my taper for maybe 1 day when I started Triplex. And I thought, well, by 2 days from now, it's going to start swelling and it's going to be really bad. And so I remember just waking up and I'd pull the covers back and look at my feet, and they looked normal. And then the next day they looked still normal. And I remember going to church about a week later, and a lady at my church said, don't get your hopes up. They're probably just, the steroids were really long last time. Maybe it's just, maybe they're just not out of your system yet. And I was just like, well, maybe this is working. But I didn't want to believe it because I honestly didn't know if it would help me. But everything disappeared, and it didn't go over overnight. Like, it took a couple weeks for all of the pain to go away, but as far as the swelling, it was gone. It never returned. And it blew me away because it truly, truly worked. And it wasn't like, oh, it's instantly fixing me. I had a lot going on inside that it took months to fix and to clean out. And I'm now coming on, next week will be my 2-year anniversary with starting Plexus. And it took a little while to get all of that, the medicines and all the toxins out of me, but I could tell an immediate difference with all sorts of things that I didn't even know Plexus could help with. Constipation issues, which I'd always had since having children. Poor sleep. I never dreamed I never got to sleep. And my milk supply was amazing. All of my other kids, I had to stop nursing around like a year old, and I was able to go so she was 6 months old, and I was told, I was going to get this medicine and go off nursing. And I was able to nurse her for a whole full year after that. So 18 months. And she has been our healthiest baby. She's never been to the doctor for anything. And I call her my Plexus baby, even though I wasn't pregnant when I had Plexus, but I nursed and used Plexus the whole time. And it was amazing, just the difference. And those were benefits I didn't even know were something, but that is the nutshell of my health testimony. I just praise the Lord, and I'm so thankful that a friend reached out, just like friends had reached out to you and invited you to this. And I'm just so thankful that I actually tried it, even being skeptical, because you just never know, and it can work, and it will work if you're consistent. And if it doesn't work for you, you know, there's the money back guarantee, but I promise you, if you're consistent, you will find healing, and you will find just blessings in your health that you didn't even know could happen. So I'm really thankful.
I really didn't know your whole product testimony, so that is really incredible. It's that whole autoimmune layer that we've been talking about, and that's come up a lot tonight. And I think my brother has autoimmune disorders, and he struggles so much. And when we look at the connection with gut health, Plexus has been talking about this for 6+ years, and now more than ever, that is the hot topic. Every time I turn on the TV, I see it on Good Morning America, or it's in magazines. These are really, really effective products that are going to address gut health. So let's close ourselves out with Michelle, my Canadian friend. She's going to share her story. Thank you so much for giving us your time. I hope you're inspired. I am just on cloud 9 because I think this is where I'm meant to be. It's the greatest feeling ever to really feel like you found your passion, your calling. So Michelle, close us out with your amazing story. I cannot wait to hear.
Hi, everybody. I do get nervous here. So as Carmen was when she started, I'm going to do my best not to mess my keyboard here. My name is Michelle, and I started Plexus in October of 2016. My girls, I've got 2 girls, and they were 3 and 5 at the time. And I was tired all the time. I would crash every afternoon, and 12 hours later, I'd be laying in bed going, why can't I sleep? I was exhausted. So I saw a really trusted friend posting on Facebook, posting how she was sleeping. And I'd known her since elementary school and had known that all her life she wasn't a sleeper. So I reached out and said, what are you doing? And she told me about these non-GMO, plant-based products, and that meant a lot to me. I've been eating organic and doing yoga long before it was cool to do so. So it's really important to me what I was putting in my body. I did some research and I called her and said, I'm in, I want your products, but I also want the business. I've been watching network marketing for a long time. I knew what the potential was, but I didn't want to put my name on just anything. It really mattered to me. And at that time, I was working for the largest tech company in the world. I was in a career role, working full-time, being paid very well, and I loved my job. That company treats their people incredibly. But I wanted more. So I started on the products, and when my products arrived, I started having energy within days. Sleep took a little bit longer, but my mood improved as well, and my husband can thank me for that. That was a big thing too. So I carried on. I was feeling great, but I hated working evenings and weekends. I was missing time with my kids. So we made the decision that I was going to go part-time and set my own hours. I wasn't going to work nights anymore. And you know what? I wasn't going to work all weekend anymore. So I stepped back from this career role. I was on my way to leadership, and I said, you know what? I don't want that. My family is where I need to be. So I stepped back into a part-time role, but I was still making as much money or more than I was making full-time. So that was a huge deal for us. I was able to cook meals for my kids because, trust me, when my husband was cooking dinners, it was going downhill fast. They became really picky because he'd be like, oh, you don't like that? I'm like, you ate that yesterday. You like that. Anyways, so I was really excited to be home with my family, but the best part comes when I was able to give more time to my team, invest in them, and this last November, after much deliberation, because I really loved working for that organization, they really invest in their people, but I also learned that Plexus's values and our leadership is very much aligned with that organization, my former employer. The largest tech company in the world. They're $1 trillion company. You might have heard of them. But Plexus's values are amazing. And our president always says, if you're blessed, be a blessing. And I think it just speaks so much for how we give back to one another. So last November, 2 months ago, we made the decision that I was going to leave my full-time job, my part-time job, and work Plexus full-time. So the best part is 2 weeks ago, I started volunteering in the school. I alternate classrooms, but every week I'm in one of my kids' classrooms, seeing how they interact with their kids, knowing their teachers, knowing the other parents. And that for me is really what matters the most, that I'm able to help others and really be present with my family. So
that's the perfect way to end this.
Short and sweet story. It's not my health testimonial. It's how I have. Thanks, Jen.
I think it's perfect in every way, because we all need to be more present, especially now in this social media world where we can get trapped in our phones. And my mom was working 60, 70 hours a week, and it burned her out. She missed seeing our faces. She missed having dinner with us. She missed all of the things that families do together. And so 4 years ago, my husband came home. We've been doing this from home as a business together. It's a blessing and a curse, but I am very grateful to have him home. But family first, and that's Plexus absolutely. Be reliable, be responsible, be trustworthy. Those are our core values, and that is why family is so, so important to Plexus. Thank you guys so much for listening to these testimonies. Use them to build your belief. Take that chance, try the products. We have great family essentials welcome packs. We have great weight loss essentials welcome packs. They're 50% off through Thursday. So you want to get a hold of that before that special is over. You guys have an amazing rest of your weekend, and start your week with hope, be inspired, and know that there's always a story waiting to be written for you. Good night.